Today we'll be taking a look at everything going on with Charlotte Flair and Aalyah Mysterio. So let's get into the latest news regarding Aalyah Mysterio. Aalyah Mysterio's first official WWE storyline ended up serving no real purpose in the end. WWE built her up to get into a relationship with Murphy. They are officially together for 2 to 3 weeks, and then were never seen together again. You can really notice it in certain storylines. It's like WWE pushes a storyline when they have heavy interest in it. But once they lose interest in something, they throw it to the side and act like it never existed. We've seen it over the last year alone, with so many things such as The Hacker, Retribution, Raw Underground, Aalyah Mysterio, Mandy Rose with Otis, and so many other things. All storylines that WWE had a lot of interest in at first, but then wanted to pretend like they never existed. Once they get into a certain point into a storyline, it's like if they don't know where they want to go next, and the only move after that is to cancel the story and move on after that. For Aalyah Mysterio and Murphy, that point was when they officially got together. Once they got together, it was as if WWE said, well, what do we do with them now? And when they couldn't find an answer to that question, they just ended the storyline. It's a bit frustrating and disappointing as a viewer because you spend so much time building that story and they can't even give you a proper explanation or ending to the storyline. They have a really bad record of not properly wrapping up storylines from time to time. Aalyah Mysterio just vanished, and it's as if they wanted you to forget she was even there. She never existed. Commentators, even Ray and Dominic, don't even mention what happened to her or why she's not around anymore. Obviously, we know the answers because there's no creative plans for her. But storyline-wise within the show, we never got an explanation for what in the world happened to her. Well, there are some new reports going around that are sharing the latest news and rumors around Aalyah's status. Reports claim that her WWE status and future right now is very uncertain because her story was dropped and there's no plans for her. When Aalyah was on TV a few months ago, reports were filled with claims that WWE loved Aalyah Mysterio and wanted to sign her full time. But she's not even signed yet and they're already running low on ideas for her. WWE doesn't even have current plans for a big superstar like Bayley right now. So you can only imagine that they really must have nothing at all for Aalyah at the moment. So as far as Aalyah's return, no one knows what to expect and if it's even on the table right now. But reports claim that there's nothing coming up for Aalyah Mysterio at all. There was even a new report that gave an update on the situation with Murphy. Remember a few weeks ago, Murphy took to Instagram to take the storyline into his own hands and give an explanation for why he left the Mysterio family. But the post was taken down shortly after he posted it. Reports claim that Murphy was instructed to take the post down because he was never given any permission to take the story into his own hands. Murphy's return also lasted a handful of weeks. He's already missing again, and his frustration is only growing. Charlotte Flair's disappearance in recent weeks has gained a lot of attention from the public. From coming out and having a promo about wanting a title match at WrestleMania to fully disappearing with no explanation at all, a lot of fans were worried. There were lots of reports and rumors out there about what was going on with Charlotte Flair. Reports first speculated that maybe her absence was related to Andrade and his entire situation with WWE. But that was later proven to be false. Charlotte addressed her situation and said that she was sick and not cleared to compete. But now coming from Andrade himself, we got another reveal about a separate situation that Charlotte was dealing with in WWE over the last few weeks. So let's take a look at what Andrade had to say while speaking with Lucha Libre Online. The WWE doctor told Charlotte that she was pregnant. We went to the pharmacy and it was negative. They took her out of the story because they said she was pregnant. 4 days later, the tests were negative. When everything first started going on with Charlotte, it was reported that they were trying to keep things quiet on what happened. But Andrade might have just revealed that big secret that they were hiding. They mistakenly claimed that Charlotte Flair was pregnant. That seems to be the big screw up that was being kept under wraps. Shortly after Andrade's comments came out, everyone was making articles with his comments and taking what he said out of context. That's why Charlotte Flair's team came out and released a statement explaining the entire situation in full detail. Charlotte's team had this to say: What Manny said about the pregnancy test in today's interview is true, but a significant amount of context is lost in translation, and we'd like to clear that up as best we can. A few weeks ago, Charlotte received a call from WWE Medical telling her that her HCG levels had come back high and she was being medically suspended for pregnancy. That day, she took several home tests that all came back negative. A few days later, blood work and ultrasound confirmed there was no pregnancy. This put a lot in context for her, mainly how small a woman's career window is. The men are able to work well into their 50s, while the women are seen as older, in their early 30s even. For an athlete in her prime, these years mean everything. Her issue was the process and how the information was relayed. So that was the comments from Charlotte and Andrade on what went down. Charlotte was dealing with this false pregnancy situation and the illness all around the same time. So you understand the frustration and uncertainty for Charlotte and WWE over these last few weeks, especially if you consider what Charlotte's team said in that statement, that there's a lot of male superstars wrestling into their 50s, but the women in WWE seem to fade out of the spotlight in their 30s. Charlotte will be turning 35 this month, so every WrestleMania, every match is just so crucial to her, and she wants to take full advantage of her prime. Missing WrestleMania for a false pregnancy was obviously not on the plans for Charlotte. Reports claim that Charlotte was backstage at Raw and is cleared to compete, but we didn't see her come out on Raw. It seems like Charlotte would obviously love to be a part of WrestleMania again, since she's no longer sick and not actually pregnant after all. Fans expected Charlotte to interrupt the contract signing on Raw and include herself in the match to make it a triple threat, but that didn't happen. There's even been small rumors and some buzz about Charlotte Flair jumping over to Smackdown to get included onto some plans over there, which would make sense. Corbin just showed up on Raw. So what if WWE makes up a claim that they traded Charlotte to SmackDown and Corbin to Raw? That's a pretty simple explanation for Charlotte going to SmackDown. But what does Charlotte do over there? It's safe to assume that fans would lose their minds if you place Charlotte into the Sasha Banks vs. Bianca Belair match at the last second. So that's not a good idea. But imagine Charlotte vs. Bayley at WrestleMania. That could work. Both huge superstars have no role at WrestleMania right now, so something thrown together at the last second like that could work. But what are your thoughts on everything Charlotte has been going through in recent weeks? Should WWE find a last-second role for Charlotte at WrestleMania? They most definitely owe it to her after that massive false claim. What are your thoughts on how WWE handled the ending to Aalyah Mysterio storyline on SmackDown as well? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.